Today in Grow a Garden and Roblox, we're going to be doing our first and newest trading guide for the Beanstalk update, starting with the Spinosaurus, who is firmly in the B tier. He's gone down a few percentage points compared to other pets right now, and you're going to hear that trend throughout this entire video, but he is still very valuable and very useful and still very rare. We're going to be running out of eggs soon on this if we haven't run out of eggs already. And as such, his value might go up in the future unless people keep trading him to grab the newest and shiny thing, which might be possible. Now, for those of you who are new, my trading guide is very simple. I take multiple websites, compile all of their values together, average them out, and then separate them into tiers so you know that this is roughly worth this, but not as much as this. So that's how to use this guide. Now we have our first new unit in the game, our first new pet, and that is the dairy cow. And you're going to see all the new pets sprinkled out throughout this list. The dairy cow is an E tier pet. It's common. It's easy to use. It doesn't even have a useful effect. You just sell it for some stuff. I think you sell it for beanstalk seeds, something like that. It's common. It won't even be on this list later this week. But to start off with the very first one with the new update, I'm going to let you know that it's just an E tier pet. If you enjoy these tier lists, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and become part of the first 200k OGs on the channel because we are growing so fast, guys. Let's get back to the video. The koi is an E tier pet. It does have a useful effect, but it is very, very common. However, as time goes on, it might become less common and become more valuable, which reminds me, pay attention to this part. This is interesting. This right here is the garden guide, and the garden guide has a pet section. It's basically an achievement list for pets. If you own a pet in your inventory, it gets populated in this list. And there's rumors that this certain kitsune looking thing down here in the bottom left might be a reward for completing this. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's just what I'm hearing. So because of that, having one of every pet in your inventory will be important to unlock any of these said potential rewards, which means you might see people collecting pets that you wouldn't normally collect. So that might actually increase the value on certain pets, especially if they're hard to acquire, like those really, really old pets. Up next, we have the seal, who is right here with the koi in value. Very useful, great for trying to make near infinite eggs. I actually kind of want to get my own seal army, something I want to work on in the future. Then we have the pack bee, who's oddly enough in the D tier. I think this is a rarity thing. I don't think a whole lot of people grabbed the pack bee back when it was available in the store. And because of that, there's just not a lot going around, and there's a lot of players. Now, we have our next new pet. It is the golem pet, who is relatively easy to acquire. As such, he's actually towards the top of E tier, but still an E tier pet. There's not too many higher than E tier pets in the new set, aside from a couple, and we'll get to those in a bit. Now we have the corrupted kitsune, and as always, I apologize to people who have a corrupted kitsune. I know they like the pet. If you take your corrupted kitsune into the public servers, and you walk up to somebody holding it over your head, there's a good chance they're going to be excited. And they might offer you a crazy pet like a dragonfly or something. I don't know. But for the most part, when you're talking to experienced traders, just stay away from the corrupted kitsune. They don't want it. They're useless. People have tens of 20s and 30s of them. There's lots. It is down here at the bottom of E tier in terms of trading amongst experienced traders. You may have different experiences in public servers, but that's your experience. That's not its value. Okay, now we're going to talk about an interesting development in the trading scene. This is really weird. I want you to be aware of this. I might have to adjust how my tiers go because the values between the D tier and the C tier are kind of getting really, really close together to the point where I might want to put them all in one tier, and it's shocking. Generally, in the past, I have taken the T-Rex and I put them in the C tier alongside the Mimic, and I believe it was the Dragonfly. With this being the order, the T-Rex, the Mimic, and the Dragonfly in that order, Dragonfly being the most valuable and the T-Rex being the least, but the difference between them was never that much. However, what's been happening is they have been together kind of collapsing in value and getting really, really close to the D tier. To be quite honest, looking at my numbers here, they're practically worth roughly the same. And yeah, you know what? This is really, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm deleting it here. We are deleting the D tier. Say goodbye to the D tier. And this is now becoming the new, oopsies, the new D tier. This is just the truth. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all, but it's just what it is. So I'm going to skip ahead and I'm actually going to make this work. Bald eagle, get up here. And where was the other unit? Chicken zombie, get up here. As well as the hamster. Everyone get into the C tier. So after sorting it, this is what the C tier actually looks like. All of these pets are very close in value. Now, the hamster is close in that value. I don't see people trading for the hamster too much. The bald eagle, people are starting to realize that it is useful, very useful for hatching eggs. Having 8 of them is great for hatching eggs, so people are grabbing them from each other. They're worth roughly the same, and it's really strange. I'm used to seeing the Dragonfly, the Mimic, and the T-Rex being up and above, but they keep coming down. week after week. And this is kind of where they are in value. Now, taking that aside, let's move along and take a look at the French fry ferret. The French fry ferret is still relatively useless and weak. Its effect is not that great. There are way better ways to level up pets than using the French fry ferret. As such, its value is dropped all the way down here. I mean, once again, kind of like the corrupted kitsune, because it is rare, you can take it into a public server and get something for it. But if you're going to be trading with experienced traders who understand values, they're not going to trade for the French fry ferret. It's basically bulk tier at this point. Ascended pets have continued to drop again. They are still A tier, but their value keeps steadily descending. Now, I'm talking about your usual random whatever pet that's ascended. If you have something like a divine pet that is ascended, maybe it's worth more. Maybe. Let's say if it's ascended Spinosaurus or an ascended T-Rex. Maybe it's worth more to somebody who wants to collect rare things. But then you have to find that one guy who wants to collect rare things, and those kinds of collectors aren't common and easy to find. People are going to undervalue on purpose an ascended T-Rex or an ascended Spinosaurus, something like that, because they want to try and get a one-up on you and make profit off of you. So you have to try and find the right buyer. It's not an easy market. It's a small market. It's going to be hard to find someone to value it properly. Moving on, the butterfly has dropped a little bit in value. It is still in the A tier. It is separating itself from every other pet in the game. It is still basically a top, top 7 pet in the game. Actually, probably less than that. It's very, very valuable because it is so useful and critical in this game. Blood hedgehog is down here at the top of D tier. The blood hedgehog method is awesome. I love it. It is great. Other people love it. If you're going to do it, you're going to need 8 of these things. So they still hold some value, unlike the lobster. The lobster is down in the D tier of value. It is just, people overrate it. People overrate it because it provides a mutation, a very powerful mutation. Like the Disco Bee, and they look at the Disco Bee, and they look at the lobster, and they both provide powerful mutations, and like, why isn't the lobster worth the same as the Disco Bee? And it just comes down to supply versus demand. That is all this list is, supply versus demand. There's not a lot of demand for the lobster, and there is a lot of supply. And vice versa for the Disco Bee. The Disco Bee has not nearly as much supply and lots of demand. Disco Bee has already established itself as an S-tier pet, so it stays that way in people's minds, combined with the fact that there's not a lot of them, and it still has value because people believe it has value. And again, everything here has value because we believe they have value. That's how these types of intrinsic things work. So the Disco Bee, I'll just skip ahead. It is an S-tier pet. It has not gone up or down in value. However, the raccoon continues to go up in value. So the gap between the Disco Bee and the raccoon continues to grow pretty wide. The Dilophosaurus is a useful pet. It is down in the D tier. Useful. That's why it's on the list. It does have some value. People do want to get a bunch of them for leveling methods, but it's not that great. Jackalope, one of the new pets down here with the cow. It's not that valuable. Doesn't have a great effect. Fairly common. It'll be on this list today. Probably won't be on this list in the next video that I do. It's common. Blood kiwis and blood owls continue to be useful pets for hatching eggs and for aging pets. They're the simple way to do it, though apparently bald eagles are just better than blood kiwis, probably why they're a bit more expensive and have a bit more value in this game. Huge pets, here we go, are every single time we do this video conversation about huge pets. Everyone keeps asking me, Kro, make a huge pet tier list. And every time I say I cannot, there's more than 120 pets in the game, which means there's more than 120 huge pets in the game and 120 Titanic pets in the game. And as such, I do not know the values of more than 95% of them. It's just too hard to do. So your average huge pet, a lab, a bunny, boring pets with no useful effects, very common pets, they're all worth like this C tier. They're worth the C tier, maybe the Spinosaurus tier. That's where your common huge pets come from, okay? After that, you have huge pets with useful effects. Maybe you can get a raccoon for them, right? Maybe someone will pay you a raccoon for that huge toucan because that person is collecting a whole bunch of huge toucans to abuse their effects. Who knows, right? But then you have the very rare huges, things like huge divine pets, whether it's a Spinosaurus or a T-Rex. Those are worth many, many raccoons. And then you have huge meta pets. We're talking the huge rainbow mimic. We're talking the huge rainbow Dilophosaurus. We're talking the huge sea turtle, huge capybara. Those are also worth many, many raccoons, depending on their size and weight. If you're trading in huges, you're trading at the top of the tier list. You're trading at the top of the market. So I can't tell you what everything is worth. Values are always shifting. You just got to go into a trading Discord, type out what you're offering, what you have, and let the offers come to you and then make your decisions from there. Every time I bring up huges, every time people are like, make a tier list. I just can't. It's just not possible, guys. Brontosaurus, useful, really useful. I might be in the market to try and grab a couple of huge brontosauruses. I'm undecided. I also might be in the market to grab some more huge capybaras. I'm also undecided. I haven't figured out if I want to or not. But brontosauruses have a very useful effect. Caps out at 30%. And I will say this every single video. A brontosaurus will not increase the chances of acquiring a huge pet. It only increases their weight. When it hatches, there's a chance to be huge and a chance to not be huge. The brontosaurus doesn't change those chances. All it does is make things bigger. Why? You're probably thinking to yourself, well, can't it take a regular pet into the huge category? No, it can't. The gap's too big. Regular pets hatch around maximum 2.2 kilograms, right? And the brontosaurus will put that up to like 2.6, 2.7. That's about as big as a brontosaurus can do to a regular pet. The huge category starts at like 4 kilograms plus. So all the brontosaurus can do is take a regular pet from like 2 kilograms to 2.6 or so, maybe 2.8 if you start at 2.2. And then it can take a huge pet who's worth, 4 kilograms and move it up to 5.2. That's what the brontosaurus does. There's no way to bridge the gap with the brontosaurus between a regular pet and magically turn it into a huge pet. It does make huges huger though, which is good. The seedling, it's common pet. Brand new. People are going to like it. As of right now, value-wise, it's common. It's not going to be on this list in like 2 or 3 days' time. It's common. The panda is roughly worth less than a Spinosaurus, and it might go up for people who wanted to complete their pet chart, their pet achievement thing. I don't know. It's got a horrendously boring and useful effect, but it's so rare it has value. Then we had the fennec fox, who has gone down 5 or 6%. Finally, people are realizing it's not that useful of a pet. It's just rare. So as such, it's up right beside a butterfly, but still less than an ascended pet. That's where it is right now. In its current trajectory, it's probably going to drop down to the B tier in maybe 3 weeks, just kind of guessing. But for the time being, it is an A tier pet. I could be wrong. It might hold this value, but it is starting to go down, finally. Age 75 pets continue to be useless. I will let you know when they're no longer useless. Don't bother trying to farm age 75 pets for trading. There's no value. This one makes me sad, really sad. I love this pet. I started playing around the bee event. So for me, the queen bee was that rare pet you were trying to get when I first started playing this game. And the queen bee is now down in the top of D tier for the first time. For the first time, she has dropped down to the top of D tier. And it's really, really unfortunate because I think she's a great pet. I believe I saw that her effect no longer does anything to the kitsune. I saw something like that. Anyways, she's not that useful anymore. Just use a mimic. They're just way better at her job. This one is shocking. I don't get this one, but I can't argue. Now, when we talk about valuable new pets from the new event, if you acquire a new pet from the new event, trade it as fast as you can, especially if you acquire it early. As I mentioned, every single week, when the new pets come out, they start off hot and their values drop like rocks. Look where the fennec fox is. Look where the lobby is. They're down in D tier. They drop like stones. The corrupted kitsune drop like stones every time. So, having said that, as of right now, where was this guy? He was up really high, which blows my mind. He's up above the Spinosaurus right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. This guy should drop like a... So what was his effect? I'm going to look it up. Occasionally spreads its roots and all nearby fruits have a chance to get the bloom mutation. Oh, the bloom is only a ×8 multiplier? That's it? And it can be applied with a spray? Yo, this brigand's going to drop like a rock. Don't keep it. The red fox still sucks. Still a horrible pet. Please buff it. Please, Jandal, if you watch these, I doubt it. If one of your staff watches these, buff the poor thing. It's like the worst divine pet in the game. The Raiju is still basically down in the D tier. It's really close to being a bulk pet. Then again, a lot of these pets in the D tier, especially the lower half of D tier, are basically bulk pets that I keep in this list just so people know what they're worth. The overpowered, all-present, all-important trading chip in this game, the raccoon, has increased again for the multi-consecutive video, 2% in value. It is still barely in the S tier. It is about to join the SS tier based off of where I draw my lines in value. It's increased 2%. It's raccoons, man. And raccoons never go down. Raccoons never go down. I don't get it. The kitsune has held steady again from the last video. It decreased in the last video, but it has held steady again since the last video. It is still in the SS tier. It is firmly worth pretty much exactly 2 raccoons. So if you have a red kitsune and you can get 3 raccoons, you win. If you have a red kitsune, you can get 2 raccoons and some ads like a butterfly or a spino. Still a win. I'd rather have the raccoons. At this point in time, I would rather have the raccoons than the red kitsune. The red kitsune has only ever trended down or stayed steady. The raccoons have only ever trended up. That's kind of where I am right now. And finally, the golden goose. Again, the same thing if you just jumped ahead to the video to see this part. The golden goose, much like the spriggan and much like any new rare pet from any new event, if you get one, trade it away immediately and acquire anything you can in value because they are destined to decrease. If you take a look, you see the lobby down here, you see the fennec fox down here, even the queen bee is down here now. A lot of these were corrupted kitsune. A lot of these rare pets are now down in the D tier because they didn't have good enough effects. I don't think the golden goose has a good enough effect to keep it high up in this list. As of now, it is beside the Spinosaurus in value. That's roughly where it is according to the markets. Do not expect it to stay there long. If you're watching this video, if you skipped ahead to the end, this thing will decrease 24 hours from the video time I made this video. This time tomorrow, it's going to be dropped probably down to the C tier, probably down to the D tier. No problem. So this is my final ranking. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Go ahead and comment down there so I can argue with you because arguing is fun for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit subscribe, become part of the first 200K OGs on the channel. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.